Boxing Ego here. If you like this video, make sure you hit the like button and also subscribe to the channel and hit the bell icon on the top of your screen to get notified when the latest new content drops. What up, fight world? It's your boy Ego and I'm back with some more boxing. Make sure you smash the like button and subscribe to the channel for the latest and the greatest in boxing. Now, the fight we all wanted for a while, we're getting. So there's no use crying over spilt milk. We have a date. We do not have a venue, as you see in the title, but they're working on that. That's the business side. More importantly, the fighters have signed. The fighters have agreed. We've seen them posed down together. They had a face-off, an impromptu press conference. I'm sure a press tour is to follow. We're just waiting on that type of information. But I'm ready, and I'm excited. I'm born ready, and I know you guys are ready too. And that's Canelo Alvarez versus Gennady Golovkin. Great fight, man. This is a fight I could tell. Again, it's easy to see what's a great fight and what's not, because the great fights are always hard to call. You have the fans that are split. They're like, I don't know, Golovkin's gonna beat his ass, or Canelo's gonna destroy him, or this and that. And that's how you know it's a good fight. Kell Brook versus Errol Spence Jr. is another fight like that. Not as big in terms of popularity amongst casuals, but still a hard pick'em fight, right? And this is what boxing needs. 2017 is lit. It's been a great year. Now, I read an interview with the Los Angeles Times. The link is in the description. Great stuff. And they did a telephone interview speaking with Golden Boy. And Eric Gomez, who's the president of Golden Boy after Richard Schaefer ended up leaving and whatnot, he says to the Los Angeles Times, "We owe it to Canelo and Gennady Golovkin to find the best venue, making the best offer that will be the best thing for this fight." So they don't have an actual venue. And they said they're kind of like alluding to where possible places. They said obviously Las Vegas and Los Angeles wants it. The UK, the United Kingdom wants this fight. This is a global event, and I have to see where it makes the most sense, said Oscar De La Hoya. So I'm like, wow. They even talked about making this fight at Wembley. They said Madison Square Garden's interested, Wembley's interested. Like, that's crazy. Obviously, Joshua Klitschko just fought at Wembley, 90,000 people. So that's obviously attractive to see how many people you could fill into an arena. And Tom Loeffler said to Los Angeles Times, "What I talked to Oscar and Eric about is it's so great to have the type of event that has so many venues interested, and there could be another arena that we haven't considered that will want to enter the picture. Wherever it lands will be a tremendous atmosphere, but I'm partial to the big open stadium where you get the mass of people and the emotion of the crowd." So I don't know. I want to know from you guys where you think this fight should land. Obviously, Canelo is boxing's biggest star. Make no mistake about it. The weigh-in versus Chavez Jr., who some people thought didn't even deserve to fight, right? And I'm not saying he didn't have any fans, but you've seen the chants, the Canelo chants and stuff like that, and the people wearing Canelo gear. It's like 10,000 people for that weigh-in, right? And most people didn't really give Chavez that much of a shot. Like, what I heard from a lot of people was, my heart is for Chavez, but my brain is telling me Canelo. You know what I'm saying? And they still drew 10,000 people just to the weigh-in. And then also the night of the fight was like 20,000 people. Canelo, he fought Liam Smith, who most boxing fans hadn't even really heard of because he's from the UK, not a big name in the States, right? And they did like 51,000 in Texas. Texas would be a great location, in my opinion. I know in the past, Jerry Jones, Dallas Cowboys owner, has showed and expressed interest in wanting this fight. This was way back last year when the fight was possibly going to get made, right? And the At&T Stadium could potentially hold 100,000 plus. It's a state-of-the-art stadium. You know what I mean? I think it was the most expensive in the NFL. I don't know, maybe the San Francisco Levi Stadium topped that now. I don't know, but it's clearly up there in terms of top NFL stadiums. And I think that would be a hell of a location. Texas, like I said, Canelo, he had 51,000 people for Liam Smith. What do you think Golovkin's going to do? I don't know if they've really tested Golovkin's star power in Texas. I don't really remember him fighting there, but He's fought in the UK with Kell Brook. That did good numbers, right? He fought on both coasts, the West Coast and the East Coast, Madison Square Garden. He fought at the Stub Hub and the Forum, all great numbers. I covered his fight at the Forum with Dominic Wade, and I think it was like 16-5, 16-6, so 16,000 plus people to see him and Chocolatito. Speaking of Chocolatito, I don't know, I haven't heard any news. However, Chocolatito versus Sor Rungvisai, since they've been doing that whole package, hey, no, guys, Golovkin with Chocolatito on the same card or on the same night, like even when he was in the UK fighting Kell Brook, they had a dual telecast that the HBO portion later in the night had Chocolatito versus Carlos Cuadras. Listen to me. You want to make this card big? The ego suggestion is this. Chocolatito got robbed in his last fight. Most people think. I thought he won the fight. They didn't give it to him. He lost on paper. Make that Sor Rungvisai, which was, I was at that fight in New York. Crazy stuff. Bloody stuff. There was a knockdown. There was excitement. There was drama. Put that on this. Put that rematch on this card. That way you would be foolish not to. I know Chocolatito said he wants the rematch. The first fight was a war, and that'll help the numbers. So that's my little suggestion. As far as there's a lot of options. T-Mobile Arena was a great venue for the Canelo Khan fight. Also Canelo Chavez Jr. fight. But to me, this is a bigger fight than all of that, because I told you guys, when it comes to this boxing stuff, the bigger the threat, the better it's going to sell. You know what I mean? Meaning, if it's a competitive fight where the fans are split, some people are saying Canelo might get knocked out. Some people are saying Canelo is going to destroy Golovkin. He's too skilled, etc. And the people are split and parted like that. Those fights are always going to do better than Canelo versus Liam Smith, Canelo versus Amir Khan, because most people feel, even if they're wrong, they feel they know the outcome. Even the Floyd Mayweather versus Marcos Maidana, I told you guys on the channel that was going to be a tough fight, just because I know how Maidana scraps. I know he has power, top 3 welterweight punchers at that time, and he's awkward as hell. And he just had a lot of momentum. Beat Jesus Soto Kras, beat Josecito Lopez, and had just nearly stopped Adrian Broner, knocked him down twice. The only person, or the first person, and I think the only person to this date that has knocked Broner down. So, you know what I mean, you got to put that in your pipe and smoke it. So I knew that was going to be a tough fight, but the public didn't. Floyd did this whole poll with Amir Khan, and some people want to see that fight, thought Khan had the better shot, and then Maidana gave Floyd a tough scrap, and then that's why the rematch did better, because we got to see the first one, and you've seen him push and bring the best out of Mayweather. Mayweather had to fight off the ropes and stuff like that. But perception is reality to a lot of people. People didn't perceive Maidana. They thought he's too slow. They thought he was going to easily get outboxed. And when they seen how tough of a fight it was, and how it was a good fight, you know what I mean? And he pushed and did better than Canelo Alvarez versus Mayweather. He did better than Manny Pacquiao later would do versus Floyd Mayweather. People seen that, and then they paid attention to the rematch. People thought the first fight was going to be like the rematch, where it was just pretty one-sided. So I know for a fact that Canelo, if he's selling with Liam Smith, Amir Khan, Chavez Jr., where he was the heavy favorite in the public's eyes, this Golovkin fight should do great. And I'm really happy for it, because it's a legitimate threat. Canelo's new to 160 plus pounds. Maybe not in his training. Maybe he can spar all the light heavyweights and stuff that he wants, but he hasn't fought anyone quite like Golovkin as a pro. Even the Floyd Mayweather. Floyd moved up 5 divisions. So Floyd, I think he has enough snap to keep you honest, but he's clearly not a guy from middleweight. You know what I'm saying? He's not hitting like David Lemieux or Golovkin per capita, just because he's not as big as them. You know what I mean? Maybe in the lighter divisions when he was coming up, he was like top puncher in that. Plus he has brittle hands, so you know what I mean, sometimes he can't overly commit. And as he's matured and, you know what I mean, got to close to 40, start pushing 40, he's evolved and refined his style, where he fights, and based on whatever the opponent brings to him, that's going to determine how much energy he has to exert. Like I said, Maidana pushes him, fighting rough and dirty, he gets a cut and all this stuff like that, then he's going to have to dig down deep to keep this dude honest and keep him off of him. But Canelo, he was having his way, so he's able to pick his spots more, and he's not going to use more energy than needed. But we know Golovkin's MO, we know what he does well, and in his last 2 fights, we've seen what he's vulnerable at. this is a great fight. I don't know what venue this will take place at, but I think LA, Vegas, or my top pick is the At&T Stadium in Texas. I think those are all great options. Wembley, it sounds good, but that doesn't even make sense to me to put it at Wembley. Obviously, it has capacity, but At&T Stadium has a giant capacity too, and Canelo has a known fan base there. And this is no shade to the British fans or the UK fans. They've been great, but you know what I mean? It makes more sense to have Anthony Joshua versus Deontay Wilder at Wembley, or Anthony Joshua versus Tyson Fury at Wembley. It doesn't really make sense to bring two non-Brits to Wembley and expect to pack it out when you don't even have a UK fighter on the card. Again, obviously the Wembley is a great venue and a great place to hold fights, but I think part of it would make more sense if either of the fighter were from that demographic. So I don't really see that happening, because to me this seems like more, both guys came to America. Canelo came from Mexico, Guadalajara, Mexico, and Triple G came from Kazakhstan. Earlier in his career, I think he was fighting like in Germany, but bottom line, Triple G started fighting guys like Grzegorz Proska in America, HBO debut, then Gabe Rosado, then, you know what I mean, whoever else he ended up fighting, Matthew Macklin. They both came to make a name in America, so why, for a big fight like that, why would you take it out of America to make it at the Wembley? So I think they're just kind of, they're happy that all these venues are expressing interest, but I really don't see it happening overseas. It just doesn't, the logistics to me won't make sense, and I would be shocked if it happened in Wembley. And this is, again, no shade to the UK. It just, both guys made a name in America for a reason, so why would you take it out of that? But nonetheless, it's a great fight. I'm happy. 2017, it's been cracking, it's been lit, whatever you want to call it. And there is a rematch clause for this fight for Canelo. Like, if Canelo loses, because he's the A side, if he loses this fight, then he can go after a rematch if he wants. If Golovkin loses, I don't think he has the option, because there's usually, even though it's normally if the champion loses, but I don't know. Canelo's the A side, so I'm not going to get hung up off of that. There is a rematch clause though, so let me know what you guys think. Great fight, September 16th. Both fighters should be starting training this summer, and I'll give you guys updates as soon as I get word. But I could tell a lot of venues would obviously rightfully be interested in this particular fight. Should be a good one. Let me know who wins. Drop it in the comment section. Make sure you share the video, like the video as always. Hate, comment, and subscribe. Till next video, is Ego signing off.
So if you enjoyed this video and want more content like this on the channel, you can show your appreciation by going to the PayPal donate button or the YouTube support button, and you can donate any amount that you feel is equivalent to the value of this video. Much more to come. Thank you guys for your support. Boxing Ego, the future of boxing.